This is a Deluxe Red Arrow flasher manufactured by Keeney in the 1960s. It's similar to a slot machine with two major differences. First, the symbols flash, which is why it's called a flasher, instead of having the reels that a slot machine does. Second, and most important, there's no place to collect your winning. There was a reason for this. Gambling was illegal. Many machines had a "for amusement only" sign actually printed on the back glass. There was, of course, a way around this. If you had credits on the machine and you wanted to cash out, you would wave at the bartender, point at the machine, and he would actually reach under the bar, turn power off. You would approach the bartender and say, "Hey, I got 56 credits, but I gotta go." He would turn it back on. Listen to it count down, and then pay you your winnings. It would be ready for the next gambler. You always wanted to tip the bartender. Otherwise, the next time you had any winnings, he might say, "Hey, that's for amusement only," and not pay you. So it's paid to tip the bartender. I did make one cabinet modification. I bought this in 2007, and it spent the next 10 years at my parents' house in North Loop, Nebraska. Their children, their grandchildren, their friends' children, their friends' grandchildren all wanted to play that game when they came to the house. Because I didn't want my parents to have to keep track of a door or move a heavy metal container that would hold a lot of quarters, I built a frame out of 1x6s and a piece of hardboard that slides right in there. I reinforced a plastic container that also slides in. And I made a door just to keep it lined up with a coin slot. If you had had a digital computer in the 1960s that calculated odds, displayed the flashing symbols, and generated a payout after a random number generator, that thing would have weighed over a ton and needed an air-conditioned room. Very few bars and steakhouses had that, so Keeney and the other manufacturers hung an entire electromechanical computer on the back door. This thing is heavy, which is why I have that lock under there. So, all of the relays are basically binary switches, on, off. Put a few quarters in and see what happens. First thing I want to show is the variator. The variator is an early version of a random number generator. It ran the entire time that there were credits on the machine. I knew people who would listen intently and only hit the lever when it hit a certain spot. I'm not sure that these people made any more money than the guy who threw the last couple of quarters in, but hey, that worked out. The rest of the components, okay, step over to the right there. The bottom three generate three different pictures or shapes in the windows. This is your countdown. How many quarters did you bet? And that calculates in the payout, if of course you win. That was 3 horseshoes, which was worth 40 credits. So, if I went up to the bartender and said, "Hey, I got 40 credits, I need to go," he would divide 40 by 4, give me $10, and I would be out of there. Alright, so there's really not much in the cabinet. All of your works are right here. So I'll put that back carefully because it is heavy. next thing I want to show you is how these three different shapes are generated or shown. There are three 4x3 grids here with light bulbs in each one, so basically 36 bulbs. You can't read that upside down, but each one points to an arrow, a clover, a diamond, whatever, and that's how that was shown. This does, of course, lock down when it's out in the wild, so not anybody can just reach in and start messing with stuff. That is a Deluxe Red Arrow Flasher by Keeney. Hope you learned a few things. If you would like to, check out my other videos. Thanks, have a good day.